We conceded 3 goals against Arsenal, and they haven't really had a lot of chances. You know, you can concede 3 goals because they are putting a lot of pressure on you. They have, 25 shots and your keeper saves, but I haven't felt like a game where we should be conceding 3 goals.
Big praise to them because they're a team that creates so many questions and difficulties to you in everything that we do, because they do it really well. On top of that, we put ourselves into a very difficult position in the manner that you concede the goal, and then it's a big mountain to climb. But I think the team showed a lot of maturity. What Gabi's done after that mistake is remarkable. And then the team slowly grew, started to control and dominate the game much better, scored 2 very great goals.
Were you hoping for the hat-trick when you've previously been looking for 2?
I actually was. I was thinking one more cut back to me, please. But another chance didn't arise. And Bournemouth for the last 15 minutes played really well. You know, they shut that space off. So I was gutted to not get the hat-trick. But I'll keep trying. Maybe one day that might come.
In all competitions, what was said in the dressing room after that, because it got tense in those final moments, but a massive victory for you to go so far ahead in the league.
Yeah, no, credit to ourselves. Everyone knows it's such a tough place to come to. They're a very, very good team, strong at home, and yeah, we're just really happy that we got the win and we keep the momentum going. We've got some tough games coming up, a really long month with a lot of fixtures, so we just want to keep the momentum going for sure.
We found out that Big Gabby might just be human today, bit of an error. How nice to then set him up with a beautiful run for redemption. It was a lovely move from you.
Yeah, no, to be fair, all credit to him, you know. He didn't let that early slip phase him. It happens to everyone. Everyone makes errors, especially at the highest level, so I was delighted that he finished it. He finished it like a striker as well, so really good from him.
You left one big club to come to another big club. Are we seeing the best of you under Mikel Arteta, and what's it like to be among this team fighting for a place and then to come on for a great player like Bukayo Saka and put up a performance like that?
Yeah, no, I don't know if it's the best. I know it's not the best. I'm still young, I'm still learning every day. It's just about focusing and trying to improve. And yes, it's a great feeling to be part of a team like this, such a resilient team, such a strong team on all fronts. And yeah, I'm really enjoying my time here so far, and hope it continues.
How important to show that resilience in those final few minutes, because you've been under pressure a bit about closing off games, but how you're proving that wrong? Yeah, no, definitely. It would have been better if we didn't concede the second, but that's football. This is the Premier League. But yeah, in the end, to get the 3 points and to weather the storm a little bit at the end was great. But I think all in all, in terms of how we performed today, we definitely deserve to get the 3 points, and it was just. How much are you talking about winning this title yet, or dare you not in the dressing room? Nah, I think we talk about it for sure. I think you have to talk about it, and you have to embrace that pressure that comes with that. You know, we're in the front right now. Everyone's got to chase us, and we got to just keep doing our thing, keep winning games, and that's what we'll. Donny, I have to ask you. You went up to Chris Kavanagh at the end of that match. Bournemouth fans saying to me, "You're a journalist. Make sure you ask," and I will ask, because you had done so well to come back to within a goal, a throw-in, and the whistle blown when it seemed the ball was really still in active play. Your reaction, and what did you say to Chris Kavanagh?
I think it's quite clear. You cannot finish the game like this. No, to have Antoine many 1-against-1, just going inside the box. No, I think it's a good chance. And his argument was that in the first half he did something similar, but I think there are two big differences. No, first of all, he gave twice the chance to cross to Arsenal. Odegaard has the chance to cross. Pass to Nkapie has the chance to cross. When they play backwards, he decides to whistle, no, at the end of the first half. And also the 6 minutes he gives, like it's normal. They are winning. Arsenal has lost probably half of the time, no. So we haven't finished happy, not only for this detail that at the end is okay, one cross. I think the third goal comes from a free kick that is not a free kick to Timber, but also small details. It will not appear like big decisions, but small details. I think the last 2 yellow cards, I think Amin Adli, Junior Kropi, are, you can discuss if it's foul or not, but it's very soft. And they have killed a lot of time in this situation. No? So yes, we haven't finished happy, no, definitely.
What do you say to your players when you go into a dressing room after that then? Because they gave everything in the game, really came back into it. Beautiful goal from Junior Creepy. What a talent of a 19-year-old. But it's 11 matches without a win. So after that performance, though, that a defeat isn't really a fair reflection. Is that what you say?
But it's happening a lot to us lately. We played very well games the other day against Stanford Bridge. I think we played really well. It's a 2-2, is 1 point, or we played good games lately where you get 1 point or you don't get what you think you deserve. Today it was a very level game. I think we were better in the first half. Probably Arsenal was better in the second half. But even scoring 2 goals, that is very difficult against Arsenal. You still don't get any reward. No, I think the problem we are having is we are conceding easy, cheap goals, if you want. Because you can concede 3 against Arsenal, but because they've been pressing you, they've had a lot of chances, a lot of shots, a lot of situations, and then they score 3. But it hasn't happened like this. They haven't had to do a lot, no, to score 3 goals, and this is something that we are having to face a lot.
Declan Rice, a very hard player to stop.
Yeah, no, great finish in his goal, no, and also in the middle. I think, as you said, at the end of the game, probably when we went with 2 strikers, with Junior and Enes, okay, you have this threat, but you lose also the middle, and there are situations there that are more difficult after to control the game, no, but we have to keep going.
Semenyo, as we know from those throw-ins, creates goals, as he did against Chelsea, created those chances, but there is a fear he will be leaving with your release clause. Can you tell us any more if you think he'll be available for your Tottenham game?
Yes, I think so, because the situation hasn't changed, so I expect.
Well, if he keeps adding the goals, Jermaine, he becomes even more the complete midfielder, doesn't he?
Unbelievable, 296 games, and, the first time he's scored 2 goals in a Premier League game. But, what a performance. I think when you look at the modern-day midfielder, he does everything. You see here, he's just an energy level just to get you out the pitch. And I remember Declan speaking a few years back, and he sort of modelled his game on Yaya Toure. And that was sort of like Yaya Toure, just getting you out the pitch. Unfortunately, didn't get the free kick there. But even here, he's always sort of he knows what's around him, that sort of pitch geography. He comes away from the pressure. And you see here just that the change of speed there to caress it in the corner. His body position, his shoulder, where he just relaxes his shoulders, and, good contact into the corner. Here, just, again, the other side of the game, can you, out of possession, can you be, effective and then stop those sort of balls into the front man? You see him scanning there. I think that's Clive, he stops the passes going forward. And then, he doesn't stop there, onto the second balls, wins that. Just everything he did. Again, just arriving into the box at the right time. We spoke about, if he can add goals to his game, he becomes even a better player. And the detail there, just the scanning, just to see where he's at. And again, the change of speed. And sometimes people talk about in the box, moving and getting to those areas, but sometimes actually standing still. And then when it comes, then you've got to execute and that. So, that was his second goal here again, just sensing the danger. Lewis Cook there just stuck on his heels and that, but again, getting it. Here, again, making contact, not just sort of getting close and not making contact, actually making contact, winning the ball back for his team. He's fantastic, the energy levels, and again, scanning there, so important, just to know where you're at. Again, just, heads it around the corner. He makes it look so easy. He does exactly what the game told you to do. He plays 1 touch, he plays 2 touch. He drives forward, he got his 2 goals. And I just felt that the performance was brilliant. And, if Arsenal are going to go on to win this title, he's pivotal.
He must be the perfect player for any manager.
It's a manager's dream. He's a manager's dream, he really is. His attitude is amazing. He very rarely misses games. And when he's out there, he's a regular 8 out of 10. So it's been incredible.
So he said that to you, did he, about Yaya Toure?
That's what I remember watching it, and he actually said that, he watched Yaya Toure's game, and the way Yaya Toure is to get the teams up the pitch and, drive through midfield. And he's got that. I think the only thing that now is probably adding a little bit more goals to his game, and he can, when he arrives on the edge of the box, he makes good contact, he's a good finisher.
Bournemouth are great to watch going forward. Their problem this season has been defensively. When you look at the stats, their numbers are way down, which is maybe to be expected, Jermaine, I suppose, given the number of defenders they lost in the summer and the goalkeeper.
Yeah, well, it's not just defend. it's 10 players, and I think when you look at that, last season, at this stage of the season, 7th, now 15th, and you talk about, when you concede, that many goals, you don't give yourself a chance to win games. And they're a funny team to watch, Bournemouth, because some of the performance is actually good. They play the right way, they've got good players, they have a go. But if you can't concede, if you stop conceding goals, it's so difficult to win games.
You think they'll be all right, though, eh?
I think they'll be all right, yeah. I think they'll have enough up top and they'll get enough goals, I think, to be all right, yeah.
Okay.
Not only with the result, but the way you guys handled all the challenges that Bournemouth presented tonight.
Yeah, very happy. We knew the difficulty of the match. It's a team that constantly is threatening you, is asking you questions. They are so good at attracting you, play the ball long to the right player with the right duel, the second ball, counter-press you. And to get out of that game is difficult. We made it even harder for ourselves in the manner that we conceded the first one. But I love the character of the team. I love the character of Gabi. The way he overcome that situation, it's just unbelievable. And it tells a lot about how much we've grown and matured over the years, and yeah, the team find a way to beat them, and it's a massive win.
Yeah, you just mentioned Gabi's character. He makes the uncharacteristic mistakes and he's furious about it, and then 6 minutes later he scores. How much of his personality is translated into his game, you think?
A lot. When you talk about presence and being dominant and authority, that's probably the player that represents that in this team. That's why it's so important. And you have to lead by example. You cannot demand that to the rest, and then if something happens to you, don't do it. So today's example, I think it's a great one.
Talking about personality, Declan Rice, how do you see the progress of his relationship with the goal and everything that the presence of Zubimendi, for example, allows him to do?
Again, another one that is put so much in the last few days to make himself available today. We didn't know for how long. So he stretched himself to the very limit. He got rewarded. The team got rewarded with 2 great goals. I think it's the first time that he scored 2 in the Premier League.
Yes, it is.
So, yeah, a great day to remember.
You know, you guys are the team who scored more goals in the first 15 minutes of the second half. It's 12 goals in the Premier League. How do you handle your halftime talks? Because they sure seem to be very effective.
Well, trying to learn from what happened in the first half and try to improve it. And that's what we have to do constantly. You can gather a lot of information and to try to help the players and change the course of the game or give them the tools to do that. And the players have to do it then, and they're doing that really well.
In this case, how was it? Do you think in the first half you could have put more pressure on Bournemouth?
Yes, but we couldn't because we lost the ball in very dangerous areas too many times. And when that happens, you are not compact as a block, you don't travel together. So to put pressure against a team that plays with a very open structure that wants to just attract you to put the ball in the last line, you have to be very conscious of that. If not, you get opened up. And we did get opened up a few times when we mistimed things. But then I think the second half it was much better.
It was the first of 9 games in January in 4 different competitions. It's going to be a long month, but fans will be hopeful and excited, especially when you look at the quality of this squad. So how much confidence do you take when you look at this squad, you look at your finishers, you look at the starting 11, how much confidence does it give you for this run?
Yes, a lot. I think, first of all, we need to understand the effort that they are doing because it's what we have in January, but what we had in November and December as well. So it doesn't matter. You see the decide. You see how they celebrate every action, how much they want it, and that's the energy that we're going to need.
Okay, well done. Thank you.
Ahead, but before we look too far ahead for Arsenal, let's just take a moment to reflect on where they are in terms of the turn of the year. I know they've played a game more than a couple of the teams who will be hoping to catch them, or certainly more than City who'll be hoping to catch them. But 6 points clear of Villa, 7 points clear of City. They couldn't have hoped for much better at the start of January, could they, Merce?
No, 100%. I think come last August, if you'd have said they're going to be 7 points clear of Man City and Man City's game in hand is at home to Chelsea, you take that every day of the week. Every day of the week, yeah. They've just got to keep on going. And they've just got to keep on game by game. The games go very quickly. I think how many games in January, so many games, bang. Before you know it'll be March and then it starts. The last 8 games. Man City will be thinking, if we can get within 3 points of Arsenal with 7 games to go, we will fancy our chances very strongly. If it's at 6 and 7s, I don't see it. But get down to 3 and then I think it's proper game on. That's what Man City will be aiming for.
And it's not just that. It's the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. It's top of the Champions League table. Everything is going so well for them. I honestly think that it's probably the least important competition for them, but I genuinely believe the Carabao Cup is going to be so important because if they win that, it would just relax them into the rest of the season. It would take the pressure off to a certain extent. Don't get me wrong, they want this. This is the one they want. They want the league title, and then the Champions League can take care of itself. If they're lucky enough to do the double, unbelievable. But I do think that they've just got to win a trophy. And winning that Carabao Cup, because it's not the sort of game you want to lose against the big rival. You know, it's like of Arsenal, Chelsea. It's a huge one for them. I think it would just relax them, because at times I feel with Arsenal, as good as what they've been this last few years, they've been so unfortunate, but I also think pressure has sometimes got in their way. They've wanted it so badly that it hurts, and that can sometimes come at a cost, and it has done. But I feel that if they can just get that one and everything else, there's no reason why with this squad, because look at the players they're not even bringing off the bench. They're not even bringing off Eze today, who's an unbelievable player. They have got such an incredible squad, and that has been their downfall over the last few years, Paul.
But that squad is going to be so important. Natalie pointed it out there. I was talking to Mikel Arteta about it there, about how busy their January is. But there are away games in the Premier League between now and the end of the season. You look at the Manchester City one, and if it stays sort of nip and tuck between them within sort of 3-4 points, then that could potentially be significant come the end of the season, and on the 18th of April. But do they look winnable to you, Paul?
Yeah, they all look winnable. I think what they won 5 and drew 2 of them games. Obviously, Leeds weren't in the Premier League, so if they can match what they did last season, that means they draw against Man City and they draw one and win the others. They take that tomorrow morning. They take that tomorrow morning, but